Austin, Texas to Essex, England. It is the Slipstream Podcasts with my man James Lingfield. How you doing, buddy?
I'm not doing too bad. You're looking very dapper, I must say.
This is our Monaco episode. We got suits. We're both dressed up like we belong in the Illuminati because I think you need to be in the Illuminati to even consider going to that race. Like if you ever want to go to Monaco, you have to be in the Illuminati or know like a prince somewhere. Not even the Prince of Monaco, just like a prince, some like in the world. It could be any country, but like as long as you know them. There's like a club that you can just like, royalty. You can go to Monaco if you want. And so that's why we're dressing like this. Yeah.
Well, I actually know someone that went. I hate her a lot. So shout out Georgie if you're watching. So she was the president of my college at uni. And she's on a gap year. Not a gap year, like an international year. And she was at practice on Thursday.
Wow.
She met Danny Rick, Science, Yuki, Leclerc.
Okay,
I am so bitter. I hate her so much.
I don't know her either, but I hate her too now. So I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, I hate you because you got to go to that race. So what's going on, man? You've had a crazy long weekend. What do you got? Some wine there? What are you taking communion? What's going on?
So I got something that looks like wine, but it's grape juice. I finished my exams on Thursday, so I'm done with university, and I have had a lot of alcohol, and I'm feeling you can sort of see in the eyes, I'm very hungover.
Yeah.
So it's the closest thing I could have that looks like alcohol that isn't, Although I said that I'm going to watch if anyone's listening, we're recording this on Saturday, and the Champions League final kicks off in 2 hours. So
there you go.
I'll be going to the pub to watch that.
So you're just going to be, you probably won't even remember recording this. Really, let's be honest. You won't remember recording this episode.
This is like the 20% of the weekend that I'm sober. So I'll remember this, but this will be all I'll remember pretty much. That'll be my entire last weekend as a student,
Yeah, there you go. So you're done completely.
Completely done.
Dude, that's amazing.
And I've got uni's like still going on for the next month, but I've got nothing to do. But it's like I have no classes or anything. Like the term is still going on.
Gotcha.
So I've just got a month of like going to the pub and going to the pub and going to the pub again.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, just the fun stuff. It's just a month of debauchery.
Yeah.
Just a month of, I'm just trying to get it's Monaco. I got to have the hair looking good. You got to have it looking.
I rate that highly.
It's got to be placed right. We got sunglasses. Do you have sunglasses?
I did. I think they might be sort of being washed in the river. Oh, I've got those.
These Tony Stark. I feel like I feel like a complete asshole. Like with this whole look going on, I feel like an asshole.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John.
Actually, yeah, dude, Sir Elton. What's the term? One. What's the British term for just a rich asshole? Is there like a word for that besides wanker?
Wankers isn't like class dependent. You can be rich or poor, but I don't know. We don't really have a Tory. So a Tory is like, I'm getting political here. Yeah. Tory is the name for a conservative person.
Oh, gotcha.
So if you're sort of ostentatiously rich,
gotcha.
Such a Tory. That's the closest we have.
I'm a Tory donut. Is what I am.
That's a very transatlantic mix.
Yeah, it is. I went and saw a very British rock band, who you can't even really talk about anymore because the singer did like horrible things. It turned out like 10 years ago, and they're called Lost Prophets. Have you heard of that band?
No. Do you know who the singer is?
I think a lot of people in England have probably heard of the Lost Prophets. And the singer, let's just say he went to jail for a very long time for doing some really horrible stuff. We don't have to get into that. But before that was all disclosed, they toured around and had a really big record in 2004. And their roadie was setting up their stuff. And I was a huge fan at the time because I was really young. And I looked at him. I was like, "Hey, man!" And he turned around. I was like, "Call me a wanker." And he was like, he looked at me up and down. He was like, "You fucking donut." I was like, "It was great, man." So, man, Monaco week. Let's get to it. It was not the most exciting race, but it was a good qualifying session. We had a lot of surprises. Ferrari is the biggest surprise with that whole week. I'm just gonna take these off. I just feel too much like it. I just can't. I can't do it. I feel like a Grand Theft Auto character wearing those glasses.
Cool while it lasted.
Yeah, I feel like I should just like be in Grand Theft Auto with those glasses. But man, Ferrari looking great, and I want to see them up front more. I want to see this every weekend. I don't know if we can see this every weekend, but I think to make this championship really interesting year after year, you want to see 3 teams up there knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And when Ferrari is in there, everybody benefits when Ferrari is up in the top 3. And so you saw that this weekend with just a very interesting first few rows. Chuck Leclerc, as I like to call him.
His NASCAR alter ego,
his NASCAR alter ego, Chuck Leclerc out here, and he's from. That's if he was from Indiana, he would just be called Chuck Leclerc. But he was up there with pole. Verstappen would have surely taken that if had he not crashed.
Sorry, you say that, but because Max was up on his lap when Charles crashed,
right?
So was Carlos,
right?
Carlos was in a flyer, so there's a chance that Sainz would have taken pole. That would have been crazy.
That would have been amazing.
But yeah,
he's definitely the best. Like for like any of the new drivers, in new cars this season, he's definitely taken to his quickest.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And maybe arguably one of the harder cars to drive. I don't know. I mean, they're all pretty hard to drive, but Ferrari seems like it's not a very simple machine to pilot. It seems like there's a lot of stuff going on that's very, very specific to Ferrari. And I just keep doing this as I talk about Ferrari because like you gotta, just Ferrari, So it seems like that's a very like complex machine to drive. Yet he's been the most responsive in his new seat, and we see Ricciardo really floundering, man. He's not liking the McLaren at all. I think he's having to change up a lot about his driving style. But you mentioned Sainz maybe taking pole had Leclerc not crashed, and I think that might have been the case. I for whatever reason, they just looked great that weekend. And maybe it's just because Mercedes was looking so bad. It was really good to see 2 red logos up in the first 4 slots. So that was really neat.
Yeah. Well, Ted Crowd, I don't know if you watched Ted's Notebook. Do they have that in the US where you got Ted Kravitz? Yeah. He was saying on there that basically the way the Ferrari engine works is the ERS system really kicks in at lower gears. So it really gives you like a punch out of the corner.
Ooh.
Now it struggles at sort of top end because they've used the majority of the energy getting to the fast speeds. But he said that's why they were so good in Monaco. Or that's one of the reasons they were so good in Monaco. It's just the way the engine was structured. And then I think conversely, Mercedes have, relative to how they are on other tracks, normally struggled at Monaco. James Allison did a big debrief on YouTube about it, and he said we expected this to be our worst track.
Whoa.
And I think that's sort of been typical of Mercedes in general. And I think then you would assume if they're going to struggle in Monaco, they'd be really strong at Spa, Silverstone, Monza, places where you need that top end power,
Yeah, you really do. This seems like sort of a fluke weekend for them. And you think that there's probably engineers up in the Mercedes factory that knew 3 months ago that Monaco was going to be tough for them. Yeah. And they probably, as a team, of course, they probably didn't want to show their cards all that much, but that as a team in the back room, before that week even started, they're like, all right, this is going to be a tough one for us. Let's do whatever we can to mitigate the situation.
Yeah.
But I don't get the feeling like they were just caught off guard. I just don't, there's too many people in the back end. There's too much money floating around. There's too much data and stuff like that and stats on where they're at to not know rather that they're gonna do poorly that weekend. It was just really weird. It was just odd, man. It was weird seeing Hamilton down in 7th, but I liked it. I'm not gonna act like I didn't like that.
Yeah, that's more of that every week, I think. But they were. I mean, well, they said in a way, that Hamilton struggles because of car setup, and Valtteri, part of the reason he did a lot better is he changed the setup right before quali. And actually, James Allison was saying he was quite pleased in a way that they're expecting that to be their worst race.
Yeah,
and yet Valtteri would have got second had he not had more bad luck. The poor guy cannot get a break. Poor Bottas.
He really can't, and they're all pit stops.
Oh, I know.
They're all pit stops. That was wild. I thought the nut, the way it was machined off, I thought the nut had folded back over itself. You know, like it seemed like it just like flowered like almost like a bullet, like it came back over itself. I was like, how do you do that? What's even going on? So I don't even know fully how those wheel nuts work because it all happens so quick, and I don't know if like part of the nut stays on the rim as they take it off or whatever, but it looks like a pretty crazy deal. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more. I mean, that's the first time I've seen that happen maybe ever in all the races that I've watched.
Well, in the notebook, Ted said that sort of basically most teams have like a hammer that worst case scenario, you can just hit it off and stay in the race. But I think Mercedes think it was partially caused because Bottas come in slightly at an angle. And then they started to take it off, and then that lodged it in place. And it stayed in place they didn't actually take it off until it was back at the factory. Yeah. Because it was so wedged on. But yeah, weird. It's amazing that Mercedes, who are normally so well put together, this is what their third or fourth pit stop this year.
Yeah.
That's gone awry. You know, that's really not like them at all.
Yeah, it really goes all wrong. Like on the pits, which is crazy for them. They just have wicked, weird pit stops, and you're just like, why it's always Valtteri sitting there for 20 seconds, you know? And you know he's just in the cockpit, just staring into the distance, like this is not what I wanted for this race. Like, how mad do you have to be sitting there? But like you can never let on that you're that mad, really. You have to like keep it together and just like, oh, what's going on? And you know they're inside just like, oh.
I'd love helmets to be transparent. I would love to see facial expressions.
Oh man,
as you're driving, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
If you saw helmet facial expressions and the helmets were clear, you'd just see this the whole time. You'd just be like,
actually, yeah, it wouldn't be nearly as.
Yeah, you just go through it's just Valtteri screaming in Finnish, just
what is that? Yeah, it's not just as good
like
an idea.
Viking expletives, you know. He's got to have like special Viking words that only he knows, and like that his coach that's Finnish too, and they just exchange Viking swear words all the time, you know.
In the sauna, yeah.
Yeah, in the sauna, let's not get back into that. That was a one-time thing. We would never want to talk about that.
Yeah,
again.
I don't want to think about that ever again.
But it was really interesting seeing Hamilton out of his element. I mean, he's down there in seventh. He's not very happy. And usually he's like Mr. Zen Man. He's like, oh, I'm grateful for the lesson, which is always really hard to do. Like, have you ever run into like a difficulty and then immediately after you're just like, well, I'm grateful for the lesson. You're like, wait, hold on. No, I'm pissed off. I'm mad.
Yeah. It feels so much better to blame someone else, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Just blame somebody else, at least in the moment, you know? And he's always so good about holding that back, man. He kind of let it loose this weekend, which was a little surprising. If you've watched him at all, if you're familiar with his work, he was human, I guess you could say. He was just like a human being this weekend. But yeah, I mean, and that makes me think a lot about how zen a lot of these guys are, especially the younger ones, where you just have to do this thing that's like really, really, you know, your heart rate's jacked. It's full of adrenaline. You're in this weird kind of flow state that you have to be in, and then something goes wrong. And then when something goes wrong, you have to like stare at a bunch of cameras that are shooting your image out to like millions of people around the world. And then you have to like say the right things at the same time. And that's a tremendous burden and pressure. People talk about Yuki Tsunoda and his colorful language, which I happen to love. But like things like this, I mean, essentially when they're kids, slipping up, and you're just like, well, yeah, I mean, how hard must it be to step into this world where every little thing you do is scrutinized? So yeah, I mean, I don't really blame Hamilton that much for being a human being and having a frustrating weekend. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like he probably saw it coming, which is strange.
Well, I think the quali performance wasn't a surprise. I think what really annoyed him was what happened on the strategy. I think to be overcut by, was it Gasly, Vettel, and Checo? I think that will be what annoyed him more, that he feels he was let down by the team.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I guess he's partly right, but there's times where he'll let the team down, there's times that the team will let him down, and I think he sort of has to take both.
One of the few, that's true. One of the few tracks where the overcut works, which
they were all surprised at that, really.
Yeah,
and it was great to see. It was really great to see Seb do a. Did he hear his radio? He did like the ding 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 that he used to do at Red Bull when he win, and that was great to see him back. Back to. I'd be very surprised if that Aston was ever higher than 5th, but I think it is great to see at least he can pull out a decent result in that oil tanker of an Aston.
Yeah, it really is like an oil tanker barge,
Yeah.
It's just like a barge with wheels.
Yeah,
super long. I'm really excited for the next year's cars, just because they're going to shorten up a bit again. You been watching like 2014 through 2016 season races, and those 3 years of hybrid cars right before they lengthened these chassis and these wheelbases is really interesting. I think it made for a lot of really, really good racing. So I think they kind of had a misstep with the regulations, maybe, where they wanted to lengthen these cars and pull out some speed. I think it's resulted in some boring races and what you've seen over the last 3 years, with the exception of this year, because it's turning out to be a little bit more exciting than last year. And so, Lando, where did he qualify? Where did Lando Norris qualify?
P5?
Yeah, and then up into P3 for the race.
Yes.
And he's just looking great, man. And I wanted to talk a bit about the split between Lando and then Ricciardo right now. Do you think McLaren's garage is sweating that at all? Do you think Zach Brown is sweating that at all? They seem to have kind of built in this pad with their expectations for Ricciardo this year, where they kind of knew he was going to be dragging, and they knew he was going to be struggling with the car to get used to it. How long do you think that meter runs this season? And do you think there's a point where they might try to say, okay, well, we need to start seeing some results? Or do you think they're kind of building in this year for Ricciardo to learn the ropes and see what's going on?
I think they would possibly, I think they were expecting Ricciardo to struggle this season. But I think based off last season, knowing that the Racing Points or who are Racing Point now Aston Martin dropped off, I think they were expected to sort of be able to afford that, that they'd still be comfortably third. And I don't think they were expecting Ferrari to make the steps forward, because I'd say Ferrari, Lando, Carlos and Leclerc all look quite evenly matched. And I think if Ricciardo's going to be the outlier, then that's really going to cost them in the championship. And I think he will come good. I think if you remember, he struggled at Renault his first season to get used to the car. But we know the pace he's got. We know how good he was last year. I mean, I'm sure whether it's this season or next season, he will come good. And I think that if he does, and if Lando makes the steps forward that he's making now and continues that, I think McLaren are going to look really good for the future.
Yeah, I do too. Baku is one of his stronger tracks, correct?
He won there once.
Yeah.
I think.
Definitely once. He did. Right? Was it with Red Bull? It was with Red Bull he won?
Yeah.
What year was that?
2017.
Was it?
Or 2018?
Was it?
One of the two. I'm sure he's won there.
It might have been 2018. I know. I feel like Hamilton won 2017.
Wasn't that the year that he got the penalty? Because remember, Seb hit him 2017, I think, was the year where like Seb rammed into him under safety car, and like his headrest was missing.
Yeah,
and like he had to come in for like a technical pit stop or something like that.
Is it the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? Let's see here.
Yes.
Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Grand Prix.
Or was it,
for the longest time, I was just like, what's a Grand Prix? How does that? Let's pull up the old results here. So Bottas won 2019. And then, Ricciardo won 2017. You're absolutely right. There we go.
And then 2018
was Hamilton.
Crashed.
Yeah, 2018 was Hamilton.
Yeah.
Ricciardo was 2017. I got to watch the 2017 again.
Oh, that's a great Grand Prix. That's where, like Vettel rams Hamilton on purpose on the safety car.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's 2017.
That one,
huh? I like those 2017 cars, dude. I think out of all the hybrid area, even though they did lengthen those cars, I like the car the best with 2017 with the shark fins. And it was just like 1 year where they had shark fins and they just looked so nasty. They were so cool.
They did.
It was basically it's essentially barge boards and stuff and small details aside. It's essentially the car they have now, just without the halo. So you're just like, oh, this is like one of the original racing cars, or just has that original racing car look with all the benefits of that being these big beast machines. Even though the halo has definitely saved a couple of heads. Over the last couple of years, you're just like, it doesn't look as good, but it does save lives. So I'm very conflicted about this. So
I think you can miss the aesthetics of a pre-Halo car while also being pleased that it's there.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, just be like, all right, I guess we need these. But yeah, no. I agree. I think Zach Brown is not the harshest of team principals.
No.
I think he's very relaxed. I think they have a very relaxed atmosphere over at McLaren. I think that's half the reason Ricciardo even went to McLaren, is because I think their vibes match up really well. And they're all about having fun, because at the end of the day, they are racing cars around circles for millions of dollars in prize money. So like, if you can't have fun while you're doing that, like, what do you even say? Like, what do you even?
Yeah.
Hey, I guess we're all grown men racing cars. We should probably have some fun with this while we're at it,
And I feel like Renault didn't have the best vibe in terms of that. I think McLaren definitely fits who Ricciardo is.
Which is strange, because Renault is so French. They've got the best catering. They've got the best food.
Surely that would increase the vibe. Surely, you think, but evidently not.
Probably the best coffee too. Well, maybe not the best coffee, but the best wine. Ferrari's probably got the best coffee, you think, huh?
Got to be. Surely Italians?
Yeah.
Surely not.
They've got to have like the best, like just the best espresso machines, just sitting right there.
That's where their engineering budget goes into. That's why their car was useless last year. They splashed all the money on,
Yeah. Aston Martin's got the best whiskey,
Oh, I feel like Williams is like such a historic.
Ooh, yeah, that's
brand.
true. Yeah,
I feel like so Frank's got some nice stuff back in his office.
Yeah,
definitely.
What does Haas have as far as catering? What do they have that nobody else does?
I feel like burgers and fries is too obvious an answer, but I feel like
they're not even that obvious. American. That's the funny part, is like people call them an American team. It's like they're so not American. Like, I don't even think their headquarters are in America. They're just owned by.
It's 5 miles away from me. It's in Banbury in Oxford.
Yeah, it is.
I am 100% going to apply for a job at Haas. Like anything non-engineering, please give it to me. I will.
Yeah. It's a good way to go. I'm getting into like data management. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like trying to study up and do software engineering and do like the data side of software engineering, certified by AWS, by the same machine that does all the data for all these races. So I want to see if I could be like, hey, hey, you guys need any more those data managers over there? Because they're like, what's your qualifications? Like, well, I have an F1 podcast. So does that work at all? They're like, no, not at all. Actually, you need to be. Whatever. What? Hold on. Well, I wore a suit for the Monaco episode. What does that give me any points? They're just like, actually, no, not at all. Surely.
Don't even, man. Don't even. Leave him now. Leave him.
Oh man. So yeah, it was a, uneventful race. It's not the most eventful race, but it is kind of like the race that and I heard this on the Shift F1 show the other day, where all of the business owners and all of the businesses that are intertwined with this sport, which are a lot of businesses and a lot of people with a lot of money, kind of get together one weekend, and it probably nets Formula One so much in revenue and new deals and stuff over the weekend that it's kind of just like a parade in a way. It's like a weird, so it doesn't make if you're like a race purist or if you just want to see good racing, probably not the best race for that. But you do get to see a really good qualifying, and then you just get to see a procession the next day. So
it looks cool. A procession with
it looks good. Yeah.
With the yachts in the background is not bad,
That's got to be the coolest. I think that's got to be one of the coolest tunnel exits like coming out of that tunnel in a car like that has to be one of the coolest feelings on Earth. Just doing if you watch any of the onboards where you're just like, oh, and that's what you see when you come out of the tunnel. It's just surreal, man. I
saw a suggestion online about a way to sort of make it cooler is if it was at night. Yeah. I feel like it would look so cool under street lights. I don't think they do that for the commercialism side of it and the timings, but that would look cool.
They should. That's how you could do it on the game.
Yeah, it looks beautiful in the game like that.
Yeah, do it, and why can't they? Because you've got all the lights there. Do a night race. What's stopping them from doing a night race?
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing. Like just do a night race, throw some water on the track, make it a little interesting, I had no idea. I read up about Bernie Ecclestone, and I had no idea that was actually one of his ideas once. He was just like, hey, we should put sprinklers on the tracks. Did you know this?
What?
Yeah, Bernie Ecclestone, he at some point he had an idea where he's like, maybe to make the racing more interesting, we could put sprinklers at certain turns and then turn them on halfway through the race. Like, wait, hold on, what's going on? That guy was nuts.
That's like a Mario Kart type. You throw a banana behind yourself to try and spin out the guy behind you. That's crazy. That.
Yeah. It's just wild, man. So, but yeah, what do we got coming up? We got Baku next. And then, I don't know, man, it's going to be a good season. I'm excited for it.
It's cool that, I think this is the first time in the turbo hybrid era that Mercedes don't lead either the constructors or the drivers. I might be wrong there. But yeah, because this is the first weekend as well that we haven't had Max and Lewis P1, P2. So Max has quite a bit of a gap now. I think it's about 10 points. So that's good. It's really good to see Hamilton under pressure. And I think
it's like
the
4.
way... Is it only 4 points?
I think so. I think it's like 4 points. Let's look that up. Hold on. Let's go. Finish your sentence. I'm going to look that up.
But I'd expect Mercedes to answer back. I could very much see a 1-2 because of how strong it is in their straight line. That Mercedes, and then Baku is a power track, especially with that long pit straight. I think I'd expect a Hamilton win and probably a 1-2. I think.
Yeah. That's what you expect. You don't want to see it, but that's what you expect. That's what. Verstappen 105 and Hamilton with 101. So 4-point lead.
Oh, that is close.
But yeah, it's pretty close. What else we got? Favorite Monaco race of all time. That's what we wanted to touch on real quick. What is your favorite of all time if you had to choose one for the ages?
I feel really bad because I cannot remember the year, but there was a year where there was something crazy. Like I think a lot of the teams had underestimated the fuel usage. And there was something like 7 retirements on the last lap. And there was this one guy who started in like 8th or 9th that came through and won completely unexpectedly.
Was it Jean Alesi?
I think it was someone a lot more unheard of than that.
Yeah,
because it was his only win, and he sort of won by accident. And so I didn't really know that had happened. I didn't know the cars had stopped, and I just cruised through, and I saw I took the checker flag.
Yeah.
So Oh, I should know that.
Team that craziest Monaco races. Let's see here. Top 10 Monaco Grand Prix ranked. I got mine. I know what mine is, but let's look this up. Patrizi. Let's see here. Was it 82?
Sounds about right. It was quite a while ago, and it was like the like dragster looking F1 cars, I think. Yeah, 82 sounds about right. It was a long time ago.
Patrizi sounds like that might be the right one. I'm not too sure.
39 years ago. Wow.
No, 82 was Patrizi. I think he won because of the rain. So all the rain mixed stuff up. I don't see anything about fuel.
Oh, I think it was fuel. Am I just thinking of a completely different sport? I don't know. What was yours, man?
New leader Patrizi also asked too much of his rear tires, slithering around on the run down to Lowe's hairpin, and coming to rest as Pironi, his Ferrari, missing its nose box, and a wingless Derek Daly came by. But even before Pironi came past the start-finish line to begin his final lap, his engine began to sputter, and he ground to a halt in the tunnel. Holy shit. So he just stops right there. That's wild, man. Mine's got to be 1992. I started reading about all the craziest Monacos. And 92 was a Senna win, but he only won because Mansell got a puncture on like lap 71. And so he lost like 10 to 15 seconds on lap 71 from that puncture coming out of the hairpin. So Mansell came out of the hairpin. His Williams would have easily won this. You're talking the FW14B, which was that 92 Williams with like the automatic suspension and all this stuff that hadn't been banned yet. So they're one of the first ones using the paddle shifters. And so basically just a car tailor-made for a tight street course like that. And so he comes out of the hairpin, he gets a puncture lap 71, loses 10 to 15 seconds between the puncture and the pit lane because he's halfway to the pit. Yeah. So he loses 10 to 15 seconds on that lap, still has to pit and get his new tire. Senna catches up with him and ends up winning by like a 2/10 margin. So they have a crazy battle at the end, and he ends up winning. And then also you've got Martin Brundle and Michael Schumacher as teammates 4th and 5th in the Benettons as well. So you've got Brundle up there, you got Schumacher up there, and then you've got that crazy kind of saga happening within the last like 5 laps, which is really all you're gonna like, all that can happen at Monaco to ensure that something crazy goes on, right? So it was pretty wild. I watched that whole thing on the F1 TV app, and it was crazy. That's also, I think, one of my favorite cars too, was that Williams. Yeah. If I had to drive any of them, if I could drive any of, if I could drive any of them, it would be that car, definitely. Like, do you want to drive any of these cars? Yes. Which one? The 92 Williams, because it drives itself.
I like to drive literally all of them. Anyone, I'm all good. I'm not picky, you know.
Yeah, that's true. This feels like a yacht. Hey, this feels like a yacht with a steering wheel. What's going on? So where are we at? Let's go timestamp. We got 33 minutes, so we got 12 minutes left. Let's cover some league talk, league races. Formula International racing on Friday is the league we share. And where were we at this past week? We were at Russia. Right?
Yes.
And then where were we at the week before that? That was
Singapore, I think.
We were at Singapore. See, you didn't do Singapore.
No, I did not.
You did not do Singapore. That was painful. Singapore was painful. That'll prove for some sore hands after a while.
Did you finish? Because if you finish, that's an achievement.
I did, actually. And I finished in the top 10. So I did. I think I managed a P8. And then I forgot what I did yesterday in Russia. I think, something bad. I think it was a bad strat call. I don't know. I forget, actually. I think I might have been top 10 because Russia was in the Midwest.
P10. I think I remember you being on my timing board. I think you'd have been P10.
Yeah. Singapore. I'm just jealous that you didn't have to do Singapore because that is one of the most painful tracks, especially if you play with a pad. You're just like sore. Your hands are sore all day.
Yeah, it goes on for 8. It just never finishes that race. I think it is the longest race in the calendar in terms of time.
Why is it so long? Because the laps are longer than Silverstone, but then also there's more laps. There's like 30 something laps if you do a 50% race.
Yeah, I mean it's about a 140 odd in the race, isn't it? 140
something. It's like in the 130s, 140s.
And Spa is like a 140 lap, and there's 22 laps of Spa.
Yeah,
isn't there something like 28 laps of Singapore?
Yeah,
there's loads.
No. There's like 30 something laps. There's like 32. God. Why?
Oh.
Why are you doing that? Hey, why are you doing that to us, Codebusters?
It's not even a good race. Like, it's not like it's Monza or some one that everyone likes. It's a race that no one likes. It goes on.
It's forever. A fun track. I mean, it's a fun track to do.
To do on your own, I think. Yeah. But to get an overtake done is not the one.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's too treacherous. How did you do yesterday?
Oh, I had a stinker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
No pace in quali and
sorry to bring it up.
Wing damage lap 1.
I saw that.
I did the whole race on like hards. And it's just the worst when you're not even catching up to people.
Yeah.
On the softs, and then like someone a box and they've got like 20 lap fresher tires than you, and there's nothing you can do. I salvaged 2 points, I think, in the end. I finished 8th. Yeah, salvaged 4 points. Yeah. Somehow. But I hate Sochi.
Oh yeah. It makes for good racing in the game. Makes for the racing in the game for that track is like a lot better than it is real life.
Yeah, it's weird that there's lots of tracks that are terrible in real life. But really, I think like Yas Marina, I think is a good race on the game. Sochi is quite a good race, and then conversely, like I think Monza is really dull on the game.
Yeah,
I don't think Silverstone makes for a great race. You know, some of these classic races in real life that don't translate well at all to the games.
No, not at all. I'm looking forward to the new game. Looking forward to it, huge. I want to see what improvements are made with a lot of the systems in the game. I'm trying to snag a PS5 here pretty soon, and I think
me too.
Really solely just for league racing, and then get a PC rig too, and then have one of those wheels that just does both. I want to get into iRacing, man. Have you seen iRacing at all?
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's cool. I want to get into it. Yeah, they don't have a lot as far as like open wheel cars. They've got their skip cars. They've got a few. I think they do Formula Renault, and then F3, and then they have.
I think
they have IndyCar, which is cool, and then they have. I think it's like the 2017 McLaren or something like that. Something strange like that. So they have like a 2017 model car, and you can race that car in a series with people. And you do like different liveries. So, and essentially you're doing like 2017 formula racing, which is cool. It's fun because you could do that around they have got a lot of different tracks. They've got just like an infinite number of tracks that they actually laser scan too.
That's cool.
With iRacing. So the track layouts are really fun. You could do like Watkins Glen and all these tracks that aren't available in the actual game. And then there's a real rating system with the safety and stuff like that. See, there's like a protest system. So I don't know how effective it is, but there's a whole thing built in. So it just looks really interesting. And it looks like a good way to like up your lap times and just like kind of hone in your skills that probably translate to the other game and stuff like that. So where are you at on the drivers' championship right now?
I might have gone back into the lead. I think if I finish 8th, I think I'd jump Mark again, but it's only by about a point. And that sets us up nicely. I think 5 left to go. We've got Suzuka, Interlagos, Yas Marina, USA, and is that it? I don't
think
know.
So. You know, but admittedly, I don't keep up as much with FIR as I probably should. Yeah, because I've got my other league. I'm trying to not get relegated in that league. That's the only thing I want to do. It's just not.
Is that MSW?
Yeah, I just don't want to get relegated at the end of the season. I want to like stay in the league long enough to have my setup to see if I could hang when I actually get a setup. So Yeah, we'll see. Just I just don't want to get if you're going to toss me down, I'm just not going to race. I just don't want to race, Don't want
to I know. I get that. I get that.
Hey, we're going to send you down to the AAA. Like, I don't know. I'm just not going to do it. Just not going to do it if that happens.
Formula 7. Yeah.
Well, Midwest F1 League had their Monaco race a couple of weeks ago. We actually have had like 2 races since then. But I figured, we actually did Russia too on Thursday night. And I did horribly. We started the race on inters, and then I did like soft for whatever reason, and just didn't do like mediums and so I just ruined my own race with a bad track call. But that's next week. We'll get to that next week if you want. We'll talk about our Russia races, and I'll send you the links so you can watch them. They're kind of halfway entertaining. They're not even halfway entertaining. They're like fully entertaining. Shout out to Crash McQueen and Hotspot for doing those for us, because they always look like really good. I've shown you a couple of our streams, right?
I tuned into, I think was it Canada a little while ago, and I watched that. That was really cool. And actually, I want to, now that I finished my exams, I can stay up till like 3 a.m. and I'd like to actually give it a go. And then if I win, like fly my Union Jack and Royal Britannia and all that. Yeah,
because we're all, let's say most of our league drivers, we're all American based. So so I guess that's kind of why I spend a lot of time in that server, because we're all kind of up at the same time. So.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Oh, you're only like an hour away. So it works better there. But Midwest F1 Lingy's coming for you, baby.
No
we're gonna watch out.
The British are coming, and all that.
The British are, I guess that makes me Paul Revere. So, we had a Monaco race 2 weeks ago, and we did the Monaco night race, which was really fun. It was more of a survival race. I think I had myself like 3 or 4 wing changes, and that's just what happens when you're doing a Monaco race.
That's Monaco.
At a league. I forgot. I forgot how I ended up. I think I just was trying to survive at the end of the night. I was like, well, if I could just make it to the end, we'll be good. But shout out to our Monaco winners. D4, P1, P2, P3. Real quick, I'm going to go down the list here. We're going to cover this and Silverstone that we had last week and give everyone up props for their performances. Knuckles, Hammer and Dead text message, P1, P2, and P3. Great job, guys. Best Pawns, Kaz FSJ. I don't know what that FSJ stands. Actually, I don't know, Kaz, what your entire name stands for. So I'm just going to make some wild guesses. And then Subtle Butthole in P3 for D3, which I say this every time, but like greatest name of all time, Subtle Butthole. So, hey, man, great job with the name. D2 saw Tiak and then Uncle Ben's Rice and Domingos, P1, P2, and P3. Tiak's up in D1 now, so you don't have to terrorize us anymore, which I didn't actually mind because he was my teammate. So it was always him winning the races, so I was totally fine with that. So I'm just a little salty because I don't know who my teammate is now. So I need to have like a better team. Come on, like let's talk about the teammates. I'm gonna pick my team. I should pick my teammate. Hey, I'm gonna pick my teammate, and we're gonna. Actually, do you want to be my teammate? Do you just want to be my teammate in D2 now?
I don't know if I could commit every week for like a
just 2:30
a.m. race, but when I reserve, I'll ask. Yeah,
I just need 2 or 3 for the points. We just need the point. We were up in the construction championship. It was like top 3. I think we were winning it at one point, and then he went to D1. It's like, oh, well, what am I gonna do now for my constructors that I mooch off of because I'm not as good as my teammate. D1 Monaco at night, Mystic Joker F1 gonna to win it, and Cake Thomas P1, P2, and P3 respectively. Cake Thomas killing it, man. You were in the same showcase as me, and he's doing good up there in D1. He's always been like really quick. Like when we did a showcase at like Brazil several months ago for this league, and I was like, man, that guy's really fucking fast. So I'm glad to see that he's up there getting it done. Silverstone was last week, and then we have our D4 podium of Capital, and then Dead Text Message and Snooker ML. Any relation to Snooki from the Jersey Shore? We're not sure, but that's who's. Yeah, you gonna say yeah?
Why not? Surely, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Then our D3 podium, Chief Braids, Young DJ, CJ, and VTech 87 PR1. Hey, bud, long name, change it. I'm kidding.
That's not convenient.
You're doing great.
For us at all. Yeah. That's very inconsiderate, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, change it. Hey, dude, 80, you got 87 numbers in your name, dude. Change it. I'm kidding. You're doing great. You're killing it. Chief Braids is, I've seen him up in the top a couple of times. He's doing great, man. Fast dude. Maybe we'll see him in D2 at some point. D2, our podium, it's going to be for Silverstone, Will Ans, my former teammate, Tiak, once again, and Uncle Ben's Rice. Uncle Ben's Rice is another driver who's been killing it. Just want to give a shout out to that guy. He was also in the showcase that I did, and he definitely overtook me a couple of times. It's like, well, I'm going to let you go by because you're super fast. So he is killing it in the Renault in Midwest F1. So happy to see. Will Ans has, I think he's won the last two, if I'm not mistaken. I think he won in Russia Thursday night as well. So he's getting some good wins, some good points. And that dude's super quick. And then we got D1, Mystic Joker once again. And then my old teammate, Mayermer, and #9211 in the podium for D1. So up to Silverstone, that's what we got. And our Drivers' Championship. What do we got? Drivers' Championship. We got D4. We got Nitwit, Dead Text Message, and Spaceman. Top three, 49 points, 43 and 43 points, respectively, up until Silverstone. I guess that'll change a little bit for Russia. And then let's go ahead and hit our D3 Drivers' Championship. What we got? Cheap Braids up there at 1. Subtle B-hole. I'm just going to stop saying your name, man, because I just feel dirty every time I say it out loud. And then Houdini 1313, 83, 82, and 74 points for the top three there. And Chief Braid's just killing it, man. He's running away with it. You guys need to catch up to him. That's a close race, too. That's only like a point or two separated between 1 and 2 in D3. So that's going to be an exciting race. And where we got Drivers' Championship Division 2, we've got Will Ans, Uncle Ben's Rice, and Soy Loco. Top three. Tiak, of course, went up to D1. So Will Ans, 123 points. Uncle Ben's Rice, 120. Soy Loco with 74. Murph and Shelley, 68. And then myself with 63 points there. So I'm happy to be up there in the top. I guess I'm top 5 at this point. So
nice.
Yeah, man, I'll take it. I'll take it, dude. I feel like I've hit a wall with my pace lately, and I really can't wait to get my wheels set up because I just want to take it to the next level. You know, you just got to take it to the next level. I feel stuck. I don't like that. I feel stuck with that, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Whatever. I'll just try not to crash. That's basically my main goal. D1 Drivers' Championship, Mystic Joker, F1 getting to win it, and Myanmar Mystic with 210 points, F1 getting to win it with 143, and Myanmar with 134 as of Silverstone. And yeah, man, good races setting up. Good. I like we got 4 divisions in that league, and they're all set up really well according to where people are at pace wise. So it makes for some really interesting races. I'm pretty excited to see how the rest of the season turns out. But shout out to Pork Chops and Monkey Mafia for all of their hard work with this league that goes into it. It's really, really fun time. And yeah, man, we're going to do an episode for Russia next week. And what do we got? 48 minutes. I think we're good. Let's wrap it up. Quick podium predictions for Baku next week. What do you got?
I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo.
Oh,
I think that Mercedes top end power, I think is really gonna show at that track.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Bottas, Hamilton, Perez. That's what I want to see.
Okay, I'd like to see Checo start pulling some good results. You know,
hey Checo, you're due, buddy. Let's go. Let's see it.
Come on.
Before that, he did P4 Monaco. That's fine. He's doing fine. He's doing great.
That's what's expected, I think, of him, really.
Yeah. Hey, bud, you're doing great. All right. Keep doing hey, Checo, whatever you're doing. You're never going to see this podcast, but just keep doing whatever you're doing. All right.
And if you are watching, please sponsor this any way you can.
If you are watching, please throw some of that Telcel money this way because I could use Daddy could use a new desk chair and I'll just buy a house. So yeah, if you want to throw some of that Telcel money Verstappen, if you want to throw some of that Tag Heuer money this way, that's great. They're never going to see this, so that was a completely pointless last 30 seconds. But
you never know.
Yeah, you never know. You just got to try. Hey, never hurts to ask.
Exactly.
You know? Never hurts to ask. You're off to the pub. You got to watch an English League Championship, huh?
The Champions League. It's like the like European crown of whoever's the best, and it's 2 English teams. It's one of the teams that I hate the most. Chelsea playing a team that I don't hate as much, so that's pretty much how I decide who to support. Really, is whichever one of the teams I hate the least, that's the one I'm supporting for tonight.
Nice, dude. That's I feel like I'm dressed well to go to that, so I might just join you. I feel like I should hop on a flight and head over there.
English football is not a classy affair. It's like Stone Island, bucket hats, like Kubo and like that sort of stuff.
There we go. Well, I've got some good vacation days. So I'm gonna come hang out. We're gonna do one of these from England at some point.
That'd be cool.
So we're gonna do that. You got to take me to the Tottenham Stadium too, man.
I do actually, up the mighty Spurs.
Yeah.
Hell, of course, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'll let you get to it, and we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We will see you. What do we got next? Is it next week or this?
Next weekend.
What's today? Sure. Next weekend. We will see you after Baku. So until then, everybody, this has been the Slipstream Podcast. James, thanks for doing it, buddy. Thanks for doing it again.
Thanks for having me, man. As per.
This has been the Slipstream Podcast, and until next time, everyone, keep pushing.